All right, welcome back. I hope you enjoyed our last breakout session of the conference. Let's hear it for our breakout session presenters. Hopefully you took screenshots of their email addresses, you got business cards, and you're able to make connections to follow up. Don't forget, we will be sharing the slide decks from the breakout session, so I will be collecting those from presenters. We will be linking those on the website. We are also recording the sessions that take place here on the main stage with our keynote speakers and keynote panels. And so if you missed any of those awesome quotes and you want to go back and watch those, we will be posting those as well. So before we get our student panelists on stage, I'm very happy to introduce our student panel sponsor. DualEnroll.com has sponsored our student panel today, and as the first college in California to fully integrate DualEnroll.com to fully replace all paper forms, I can say, yes, let's give that a round of applause. I can truly say that it has not only increased our registrations, but if we want to talk about serving students, finding the students who are falling through the cracks, and using my staff, my advisors, my awesome counselors, and my managers to really reach the students where college is the farthest away from them and they have the most hoops to jump through, we now get to focus on finding those students rather than manually registering students from messy paper forms. So it's really just transformed what we're able to do and what we're able to focus on. And so I'm really happy that Janet made the trip here, proud to introduce her, and she has some remarks to share with you. So here's Janet Van Pelt from DualEnroll.com.
Thank you, Kylie. Can you guys hear me? I am painfully aware that I am standing between you guys and the highlight of the conference, which is the student panel. So I'm going to be brief in my remarks, but I do have a couple of things that I wanted to share with you. I thought it was worth, because a lot of people have asked, what led you into this particular work? And so I thought I would take a minute and just sort of, as they say in Hollywood, give you our origin story. I grew up in West Virginia. My father's family all comes from Appalachia, a little town called Fairmont, which is deep in coal mining country. I should actually say my father's people, because when you're from West Virginia, you don't have family, you have people. And so as I grew up from an early age, there were sort of two categories. The majority of kids that were in the family, high school, graduating from high school was sort of the pinnacle of their ambition and vision. And then there were a few kids who actually made it to WVU, it was always WVU, and got a whole different kind of job. And it was really obvious to me from a very young age how different the lives were for those people, right? They had nicer houses, their kids had nice birthday parties, they just seemed stable, right? The kids who only went to high school or didn't finish high school, great people, good families, but there was just always a level of precariousness, right, around that. And so for me, when I think about equity, and I understand different forms of equity, so economics is one form of equity, but those are the faces that I see when we think about equity. And so when I was thinking about kind of what's my next act going to be, I kept running into dual enrollment as this incredibly effective way to help more and more students get a college education. And I said, sign me up. I will share a little secret with you, which is that as a company, starting a company, if your goal is to make a lot of money quickly, you don't do it by building software for community colleges. I'm sure that's a great shock to all of you to hear. So this really is a mission and a passion for us. Do I have a slide clicker? Green button on that, okay. I do want to spend just a minute talking about how dual enroll, as we have built it, supports equity, since I've just shared that was a real key element in starting the company. There's about 1 million different ways to use different data to get to the same conclusion. The gist of this is that students who have parents who finish college are about 62% more likely to participate in dual enrollment than students whose parents didn't finish high school. So what's the obvious answer? They get more help, right? The parents help them with the process. Unfortunately, sometimes they just do the process for them, which we see as well. But I think there's another more subtle element, and that has to do with kind of a frustration tolerance at a critical point in their life cycle. So high school students, privileged students, just innately understand the value of college, just as I did growing up and sort of seeing that contrast. Disadvantaged students have to get there on their own, and sometimes it takes them a little bit longer. And so we are asking them at a point where they are just starting to have kind of a glimpse and a glimmer of why college is important to them. We put this incredibly horrible, difficult, frustrating, confusing process in front of them. And then we're surprised when they give up and they're just, they're frustrated and it's just not worth it because, we are all looking through the other end of the telescope. We understand why this is so important for them. They don't necessarily have that perspective yet. And so the obvious solution, I'm not a genius, it seems like make it easier. And so that is our goal with dual enroll. We simplify the process and we give the college lots of tools to be able to help students who don't necessarily get that same level of help from their parents and their families. So what happens when you make it easier? Hold that thought. I'm going to show you in just a minute, but there's one other thing to chat about, and that is communication. Everybody relies on email for communication, not because it's the best method, but because it's easy and you have systems that support it. But there is a lot of data that shows that families, disadvantaged families, families of color, don't use email nearly as much as people who have office jobs and that sort of thing. And if you are communicating only by email, if you are over-relying on email, you are not reaching the audiences that you are designing these initiatives for. And oh, by the way, students don't do email, right? My son is a senior in high school, and I always say if I need to give him information, I can write an email, I can hit send, I can print it out and set it on fire. He is equally likely to read it either way. So if you want the communications that you so carefully craft to actually reach their intended audience, the only way to do that is with texting. So everyone's nodding, so why don't you do it? Because it's hard, and it's expensive. It costs about 10 times as much to send a text message as it does to send an email. We recognized years ago that communication was just so key and so critical to the mission of dual enroll, so we have just built it into every aspect of our system. All of the automated messages go out in both email and text. The college has the ability to do custom emails, custom messages, custom notifications in both email and text to both students and parents. So the quality of communication is just exponentially different with that tool. So what happens? This is Kylie's slide, not my slide. I did add the little explanatory, can't talk, note about timing. But what you see is that the first year that they rolled out dual enroll, their enrollments went up by 32%. Now, I would never say that that is 100% due to any one thing. Kylie has a great team. They had lots of good initiatives. But they will tell you, and they did say in a session yesterday, that a very high percentage of that growth is attributable to the tools that we were able to make available to them. Unless you think that that is sort of an outlier, these are some of the other colleges that we have implemented over the past couple of years, and you will see that Bakersfield is kind of right in the middle. PGCC, Prince George's Community College, I'm especially proud of. That is a heavily minority colored student population. All of their courses are actually taught on the college campus, so a much higher barrier than courses in the high school, and they have just had phenomenal success and results. Ivy Tech, biggest program in the country, they enroll about 105,000 students every year. So the way to think about dual enroll, we are not a practitioner, but we are a partner. And we have the potential to be a force multiplier for all of the other great work that you guys are doing. And we certainly support and are passionate about the work that you're doing, and would just love to do anything we can to support you. And with that, I'm going to get out of the way and turn it back over to Kylie.
Thank you, Janet, and thank you for your commitment to equity. And I want to apologize for your text message bill from Bakersfield College, because Bernice over there likes to send text messages. And then if you have students in our program, you get those text messages. Okay, without further delay, we have our student panelists ready to go, and I know that you are eager to meet them and hear from them. They might be a little bit nervous, but I did tell them that you are such a kind and supportive crowd, and that you're probably looking forward to hearing from them more than anything over these 2 days. So they are here. They are ready to share who they are. They're ready to give honest feedback on dual enrollment programs. All 4 of these students are from Bakersfield College's early college program from 4 different high schools, and I'll introduce that. But just to be here and to be candid and to say that I have invited them to share just real feedback. I have not received their answers. I only gave them the question options that you provided, and I asked them, which one would you like to answer? And so this is going to be real. This is not rehearsed. They were not given a script, and I think that that is how we really make improvements to our program. So we hear from our students, we hear what they need, we don't discredit that or disregard that, we take that and we make that how we move forward. So this is Bakersfield College being real, bringing our students here, getting some feedback, and sharing that with all of you, hoping that that helps your programs as well. So I'm going to actually take a seat for this one, and I'm going to ask the student panelists to come up, and then I will introduce them from my moderator chair. So I'm going to introduce them while they're standing, and then we'll have them sit down. But right here, we have Angelica Jacinto from McFarland High School. Angelica has earned 45 college credits through dual enrollment. Next to Angelica, wave your hand, we have Yolanda Bailey from Shafter High School. She has earned 37 college credits. Next to Yolanda, we have Sebastian Velasquez from Arvin High School. He has earned 43 college credits. And next to Sebastian, we have Emilio Duran. I lost my paper. What high school are you from, Emilio?
Wasco High School.
Hold on. There we go. Wasco High School, and he has earned 60 college credits. I believe that equals a degree, right?
I believe so.
I believe that equals an associate degree. Okay, so have a seat. We're going to find out more about you. Actually, Sebastian, I forgot a very important guest we have up here with us today. So we also have Sebastian's baby here, Pepito, but he prefers to go by Pepe.
Yes.
And he's a potato. How many of you had to do egg babies or flour babies? Now they're doing potatoes. That's called inflation. Okay. All right. So Pepito, and is Pepito doing dual enrollment classes?
He's planning to take dual enrollment classes.
He's planning
I'm
to
making
take
sure he
dual
takes them.
enrollment. That's fantastic. Okay. Before we pull up the questions, which all of you were so great to submit when you registered, thank you so much. I'm going to let our students introduce themselves. And the reason for that is because I could read off for you what they want to major in, what they are aspiring to do, but I want you to hear their story, or just a quick overview of their story of who they are, how they've got to where they are today. And as a former dual enrollment student who was going through a very difficult time in my life when I stumbled on accident into college, I had this story, I had trauma, I had things that I'm still not even ready to share, that college and dual enrollment just changed the trajectory of my life in a sense where that trauma could have just put me into this rabbit hole, this spiral. I don't even know if I'd be here today without college giving me a purpose. And I can reflect all of this, and I can tell you that these things happened to me between the age of 12 and 16 years old. And so if we discredit the voice of teenagers and say they don't know what life is, or they don't know what trauma is, or they don't know what trials are, we are really missing out and doing a disservice to our youth. And so I don't know what these students' lives are like. I'm so excited to get to know them with you, but I do know that they're in dual enrollment. I do know that the trajectory of their education and their future has shifted and that they are on a great path towards success. I'm already so proud of them, and I know that they will do great things. So let's get to know our panelists, and I will start here with Angelica.
Okay, hi guys, my name is Angelica Jacinto. I come from a family of 7. So I have, well, my 2 parents, and I also have 4 siblings. I have 2 older sisters and 2 younger brothers. And all of my 17 years of my life, I've lived at McFarland. So I have been attending McFarland schools, elementary, middle school, and, well, of course, the high school there. I also have 2 older sisters that have been assisting colleges. One of them already graduated from UC Merced, and then I have another one who is actually graduating this month from Fresno State. And well, I just aspire to be like them. I really just want to make my parents proud, my whole family proud, and the whole purpose of my life is to just make them proud and give them something that they can say that they're proud of.
Thank you, Angelica. And Yolanda?
So hi everyone, my name is Yolanda Bailey and I am a junior at Shafter High School and I am in the early college public health pathway, and that pathway has taught me that I love the field of medicine and I want to go into medicine. And I've just recently gone into 2 programs that are going to help me further my education in medicine, and my goal is to attend a 4-year university, well 2 years with this pathway where I will. And my ultimate dream school is Stanford, and I want to become an oncologist.
Thank you, Yolanda. And Sebastian and Pepito?
Hello, everyone. Good morning. My name is Sebastian Velasquez. I come from Arvin High School, which is like a small city. For one, I want to say that I'm in the. Sorry, I'm kind of nervous.
It's okay.
So I'm in the AA. I'm in the AA for communications. It's a pathway where if you take a certain amount of credits, you get your AA in communications, and that's gonna help me a lot. Like she said, I'm only gonna take 2 years of high school, 2 years of college, I mean, and I plan to go to Cal Poly Panoma to study international business. I'm a dancer. I like dancing. I'm in Folclorico, which is a program at my school. And that's it. Thank you.
Thank you, Sebastian. Hey, it's okay if you're nervous. I'm nervous too when I'm up here. Are you less nervous when you're up here dancing?
No, dancing is a different thing. Yeah.
It's a different thing, okay. So, I mean, if you want to do some folklorico for us, none of us will say no. But so happy you're here with Pepito. And Pepito is an econ project. So are you going to keep him around after the project is over?
No.
Okay, Emilio, why don't you introduce yourself?
Hey everybody, my name is Emilio Duran, and I'm a senior at Wasco High School, so I'm about ready to leave. Thank you. I'm ready to move on with my life. You know, I'm gonna go to CSUB. I'm gonna study to become a real estate agent, and thanks to this program, it's provided me a lot of opportunities, and it's really helping me advance my college career before even getting there. And I want to thank Mr. Abernathy. He brought me here. He's a great mentor. He's helped me so much through my 4 years of high school so far. And this program really, as much as it helped me with like advancing college, it also brought me great relationships with him and Mr. Hunter and all the BC teachers I've met. And I'm just really grateful that I got the opportunity to do this.
Thank you, Emilio. I forgot my clicker over here. Go, got it. Okay, now let's get into our questions from our registrants. Is Patricia Perez still here? Hey, Patricia, thank you for the question. So Patricia Perez is the Program Services Coordinator of Dual Enrollment at the College of San Mateo. And I have her question here that all of you are going to answer. What has been your most memorable or impactful moment in dual enrollment? And we'll start with Angelica and work our way to the right.
Okay. Well, I believe that the most impactful moment would just be from the get go. I had the decision to either have normal high school classes or take these BC classes that will help me get my AA in Spanish. At first, I was very, I was very doubtful, and I was like, I don't know if I want to take these because I don't know if they're gonna be difficult. I don't know. I was very, I didn't have any knowledge about them. So I went to my mom, I went to my counselor, and I talked to them. I mentioned to them how I didn't know anything about this program, and they mentioned that it would help me. For the long run, it would help me out so much, and I decided to do it. After that decision, great things have just been following after that. I've had very great relationships with all the staff at the high school at McFarland. I've created many relationships with staff that I never thought that I would ever talk to, even to the janitors. Like I even talked to them. So I was like, wow, like this program has just been evolving me to become a better person, not just for education, but as a better person for myself. I've been able to, my social skills, they've been able to improve as much as my education skills. And I think that's been the most memorable part, just having these new relationships, having these new skills that I now have thanks to this education. And yeah.
Thank you, Angelica. And where's our McFarland team? Shout out to McFarland team here.
Thank you.
And Yolanda, same question.
So the most memorable and impactful moment that I've had thanks to dual enrollment has been watching my hard work and my success pay off eventually. Just as of a few weeks ago, I applied to 2 programs, one being the UC Irvine Med Academy, which I got accepted to with the full scholarship, and the UC Berkeley Mentorship Program, which I also got accepted to. And I don't know if I would have got accepted into these 2 programs without dual enrollment. Having so many units of college credit has just made me so much more competitive, and that's one of the reasons why I decided to do this program, is because I do want to attend a very good university, and I know how competitive it is. And this program overall has made me so much more competitive and has showed these universities that I can succeed in college and that I will succeed in their programs.
And I will add, with our health science pathways, it's often the prerequisites that detour our students. They'll give up on their future in health science in the medical field. So seeing a high school student who can tackle the prerequisites now and keep her eyes on the prize of getting into our medical field, I just think is so transformative. And I know you have your mom with you today, right?
Yes,
Where's
she's
your
right
mom
there.
Okay, so shout out to your mom. And do we have anyone from Shafter High or Kern High School District here? Kern High, there's Sydney. Thank you, Sydney. Okay, and so Sebastian, same question for you.
Definitely my most memorable moment in dual enrollment was when I got to sign my certification of completion at my high school. My school held this event where me and my cohort, we signed this big certificate that's saying like, oh, you're halfway there to get your AA. And I even got an interview by ABC News. I was so nervous. I was super nervous. I was fumbling. But yeah, my counselors were there, my parents were there, my dual enrollment professors were there. I got to take pictures with my friends, and now I get to use that certification of completion on my resumes when I'm applying to college. There's like a part where it says, "Oh, what did you earn? Like any rewards?" And I got to use that, so it made me look better on my resumes. And my friends get to use that too. And definitely, like I said, Arvin's a small school, but they give big opportunities.
Thank you, Sebastian. And Ed Watts is in the room, so thank you to Arvin High and Kern High School District with Sydney. So fun. any chance you can to celebrate your dual enrollment students. We get so worried about scheduling the next course or getting the cohort or having the seats, having the instructors, but the most meaningful part to the students is let's just have an event to celebrate you. Let's print off pieces of paper, right? Paper isn't always bad. This is a good piece of paper, and celebrate them. So thank you, Sebastian. And Emilio, same question for you.
I think all of dual enrollment's been really memorable for me, but when it comes to being impactful, I think my entirety of junior year was really impactful because we were coming back from the pandemic, so getting back into school and having to do those college classes, it was tough. And I had my own personal difficulties in life. I lost my dad midway through the year, and it was really hard, but I got through it, and it kind of showed me that if I can get through this now, you know, I was barely getting back into school. I lost my dad. I can get through anything at this point in life, you know. So I think that impacted me a lot. Thank you. It just showed me that, you know, we're all stronger than we really think. And whatever tribulations or trials we may face in life in the future or in college or in whatever work you go into, you can persevere and just be strong through it.
Thank you, Emilio, and I'm sorry for your loss. Thank you for sharing with us. And Wasco, hi. I know we have Dave. There he is. Thank you, Dave. Our seniors, so how many of you are seniors? Okay, our seniors, you started this whole journey during the pandemic, right? You signed up for your first college course online as a freshman, starting high school online, and here they are. Still standing, still positive, so extra kudos. Okay, question number 2 is going to be for Yolanda and Sebastian. Can you guys see it on the screen there and down here? Okay, I will read it, but where's James Espinoza? I didn't intentionally call you out if you left. I'm sorry, James. He's like, I gotta get back to San Bernardino. It's not an easy drive. I get it. Okay, James Espinoza was here yesterday for being our breakfast sponsor from CCEMC. He's here? Where? He's here. I know he's here. Okay. He is a CCEMC board member and Middle College High School president or principal in San Bernardino. And his question was, what is one area in dual enrollment that you would like to see improved? So let's start with Yolanda and then Sebastian.
The one area in dual enrollment that I would like to see improved is the access. I go to Shafter High School, so all of my courses that I'm taking, I'm supposed to complete at CTEC, and that's 40 minutes away from me. So I have my high school courses, which I'm done at 3:30, and I'm taking 5 honors classes, and then after school 2 days a week, I have to drive to CTEC and I spend 3.5 hours there. And that's not including the drive back, which is another 40 minutes. And overall, that's so hard because that's not even including like the coursework and the like workload that I have. So I think just having somewhere like that's easier for students to like go to have their classes. And I think that's one of the reasons why I'm gonna be the only person from my school that's ever completed the AA degree graduating high school. And I think that's the reason why there isn't anyone graduating with me, is because no one wants to put the effort and the extra time into furthering that education because it's so difficult to do.
Thank you, Yolanda, and kudos to you. I know that's a lot of driving. I would probably quit. I can't do that. And I think it's a reminder that even though students show up and even though they can do it and even though they can get themselves to a college campus or to another facility, should they have to, right? And I do want to say this is a program that I'm very, very proud of, our CTEC program. We built it, we did this in order to serve a district that has 19 high schools across a very large geographic region. And our struggle was, can we bring the same opportunity to every single high school? And the answer was no, and definitely there's work to do. So we have these pathways, but still with barriers. So this feedback is so important, so appreciated, and just a reminder that just because there's a class after school and they show up, it doesn't mean it's the best thing for them. because they have so much on their plate. So thank you so much, Yolanda.
Thank you.
And Sebastian, same question to you.
So one area in dual enrollment that I like to see improvement in is definitely preparing students, um, telling them ahead of time what classes they're going to take. There are moments where my counselors be like, oh, you're going to take this class. And I'm like, what? That wasn't the pathway. And I'd be very confused. There were times later on, especially my senior year, where we take twice as many classes. Freshman year, I was only used to taking one class after school, but now I'm a senior, I have 3 classes after school. And that, on top of like taking honor classes and AP classes, could be a lot. Finals intertwine with each other. Since I'm a senior, my finals are closer to my college ones. So I don't have time to prepare and study for all my finals. So that's one area that I like to see improvement in. A second one is time. There are moments where after school we have to stay for multiple hours, sometimes 3 or 4, and that's when a lot of students drop out because they don't have time. So making it more accessible where we could take those classes during school would like definitely make it easier for us to get our AAs.
And Sebastian, I know you weren't here yesterday, but we were talking about that sounds like an adult problem. Like the problem is caused by adults and can be fixed by adults. And so we have to keep continuing the work of there's a misalignment between secondary and post-secondary. With our teachers don't have the same minimum qualifications, but we're trying to build dual enrollment. We need dual enrollment during the day. Arvin High fully supports dual enrollment, but not all of their instructors, there he is, Ed Watts, thank you. All of their instructors meet the minimum qualifications of the California community colleges. And the result of that is that Sebastian and his peers have to take certain courses after school. And if they want the degree, those courses, there's more and more courses that don't fit into the high school day. That is not because Principal Ed Watts doesn't want these opportunities during the high school day. This is because of all of this regulation and everything we have to follow that makes it impossible for us to do that. And so, what can we do about it? We have to think, we have to do something, because it's not just Sebastian, right? It's all of our students. So thank you both so much for your real and honest answers. Okay, is Amanda still here? Amanda Zhu? No? Had to go all the way to Mendocino. So also not blaming you. You had to get back to Mendocino. I'm so grateful that Amanda was here. Anyone go to her presentation yesterday with Diane Barker, Native American students, heard great feedback. But Amanda is the Dean of Centers at Mendocino College, and she wanted to know, are there any areas of the current program where you could see additional support provided? And what would that look like? So focusing on support for you in the program you're in, and we're going to ask Angelica and Emilio. Go ahead, Angelica.
Okay, so there are areas of the current program where I would like to see additional support provided. As the McFarland High School, we get Chromebooks. These Chromebooks are given to us for free, but there are certain restrictions on them. And while for these BC courses, there's some there's some assignments where I have to access, whether it be YouTube or any other website, and there's times where I'm not able to access it because they're restricted. So maybe whether it be the high school or this program where they get to collab and talk about how we're able to fix these problems, I would like that because me personally, I had a Spanish final and I had to do it on YouTube. I had a film that I had to watch, but I was not able to do it because I had the restriction of on it. So that is one thing that I really like. I felt I was stressed. I was really stressed because it was my final and I didn't know what I was gonna do. It was something that was going to determine my whole grade, my own and my other classmates as well. So it was something that I was worried about. Also, I would like, just simply the professors being like, okay, you have this and this and this. Yes, I know we are, we're adults, adolescents. We are able to, know what we need, and we have calendars, we have planners, we have all these things available to us. But I would also like to see, our professors acknowledge the fact that we're there, acknowledge the fact that yes, we have other work, yes, we have sports, yes, we have family issues, and I honestly think that would be such a support helper. It would be a lot of help, especially for sports, for athletes. There's many times where I have either practice or I have games and I'm not able to make deadlines, or maybe it's just because of time. But I would like, to see more professors being open with their students in a way, be more, um, acknowledge more the fact that maybe there's other stuff that they have going on in their life.
I don't know if we have any IT people in the room. Anyone? Yeah, I need IT friends because this is a real issue, and it was all good intention, right? The high schools and the college say, let's get them laptops because they need it, especially in COVID. And then we're like, oh, you're on their server, you're on our server, you need to log into our LMS, your LMS. We both use Canvas, and yet we can't figure it out. And that is, again, an adult problem that adults need to fix. So if anyone has solutions there, thank you for raising that, Angelica. But I want to go to the second part of your answer, because seeing you, right, understanding you as an individual and that you have other obligations, and whether those are personal or those are academic or they're just fun, how many of you as an adult have signed up for something and then you realize, I don't have time for this, or I have other things going on, or hey, can I get out of it this time, or I need to reschedule, right? As we become an adult, we start all of a sudden saying, like, I need to create boundaries for myself, I'm gonna protect myself, I'm gonna expect others to do the same. But I think that we forget to do that for our students. That if we want to treat them how to be successful adults, then we need to acknowledge that they will have other elements going on in their life. These students are in high school and college at the same time. They deserve some compassion and some understanding, and it shouldn't just start, okay, after you have a college degree, you can start saying you can't come to that meeting, or you can't sign up for that class, or I'm sorry, I signed up for this online class, I'm gonna turn everything in at the end because I'm very busy. We accept that from adults, but and these are very dedicated students. So I really appreciate that feedback. I don't think in any way that you were saying I'm just a slacker and I can't do it. Don't you understand? Like, she's obviously an overachiever, and sometimes it's just too much. So thank you, Angelica. And Emilio, same question to you.
I mean, I agree with Angelica. I would like to see more flexibility from the teachers, just so they can show us that they understand that we're not just us and them. We have our high school, we have sometimes 2 college classes, 3 college classes, and it's really hard when they're very strict. They have this sharp deadline, no exceptions, no late work, because you feel like if I have to get this done, but that makes you late on something else. And it would just really help if you could see that your teacher cared enough to put in that little effort to extend a deadline for you if you have something else serious going on, And especially with like out of school things, like athletes really struggle with that because they have practice. Their coaches also are like that. And I can't say anything about their coaches, but I would like to see the teachers be a little more flexible with their deadlines and how they assign work, because I've had teachers that assign a 40-minute video with an hour's worth of work after it every other day, and I have to get that done by 3 o'clock when I get out of school after that. So I really just wish more teachers would be more flexible with their deadlines and how they accept work.
Thanks for that. Thank you, Emilio. How many faculty do we have in the room? Awesome. Great representation from faculty over here, especially thank you for being here. And I know this is every instructor is different. I hope the feedback is helpful. It always comes very well from students, right? So if you need someone to tell your faculty something, bring some students into the room. Okay, our fourth question is from Gladys Cruz. Is Gladys here? Hi, Gladys. Thank you for submitting a question. Gladys is the dual enrollment program specialist from Mount San Antonio College, or Mount SAC, as we call it. And her question, I loved this question. What does self-care look like for a high school student taking a college course? And so I'm going to go to Emilio, you just answered. Let's do Sebastian and then Emilio.
So self-care for a high school student, it depends on what time in the semester. When we first start the semester, it starts with like easy work. It's like an introduction to the class, and then later during like the semester of the class, that's when you get like those huge assignments, those huge essays, those finals with like 100 questions, and that's when it really starts to like stress you out. Um, and so when you're done with that, or before you actually take that, you need self-care. And what self-care looks for high school students is obviously sleep. You need your rest. Um, that's
Don't
a
we
huge
all?
one. We all. Specifically rest. Extracurricular activities. Like I said, I'm in dance. Um, that's the thing I look forward to in high school. Actually, I take dance before I go into like my actual college classes, so it's like kind of what keeps me going through the day. It's like, oh, you just got out of dance. You have your energy, you boost energy. Um, and then there's some students in sports. That's their self-care. I was in a sport last year. That was a form of self-care for me. My external, like my way of kind of releasing all that stress. Um, Finally being able to be like, oh, this is me time. This is not like the professor's time. It's me time. Um, and yeah, just like kind of not focusing on school, just focusing on yourself.
And hanging out with Pepito, right? I think this is important to remember because sometimes we would think, well, you're overwhelmed with your high school and your college and your extracurricular, and what might be the first thing to go for a student who's very focused on college and career and their future? What's the first thing they'll give up is going to be those extracurriculars. And they may even be the first thing that is recommended they give up. But I don't think that should be the case. While I'm sitting here and I'm saying dual enrollment for all high school students, I would say they're a high school student and they're a teenager. Keep them in the high school classes, keep them in their extracurriculars, and cut back on the college classes. I'm not saying they won't come back to it or don't do it at all, but any dual enrollment is good dual enrollment. They take one class, it impacts their future. If they get the whole degree, obviously they have 2 years left after that. But it's such an important reminder that you don't have to graduate from high school with a college degree. Some dual enrollment is really great, some exposure to college, but I love that you're in Folklorico, that you're still having some fun, you had a chance to do a sport, and we need to protect that for our students. We need to protect their fun. You only get to be young once. So thank you, Sebastian. And Emilio, same question to you.
I agree with Sebastian. Everybody needs their sleep, and I think taking care of your body is a really important thing, and that could be sleeping your proper hours or eating nutritious foods, and taking care of your mind's really important because if your mind's too tense, if you're just focused on school and your college classes for too long, you're gonna get tired of it. I know from experience, I've been there. I've wanted to just quit and not want to do it, but just taking a little bit of time away and refocusing yourself, it'll help. I've also been in the case where I've taken too much time away and I let it distract me, and you want to make sure you don't do that because if once you get distracted, your work will pile up and it'll just make it even harder to get back into it. You'll be overwhelmed by what you have to do. So I think time management and self-care with your body and mind is the biggest thing when it comes to that because I mean having your being in the right headspace will always help you no matter what situation you're in. And if your body's feeling good, your mind's gonna feel good. So I think that's the most important thing.
I'm going to take that advice. I needed to hear this. I think a lot of us needed to hear this. So, Emilio, you're giving us advice on how to take care of ourselves. So thank you. A lot of us are very tired. But yes, self-care is very important. Do I look tired today? I'm tired. I think it's important to notice if our students look tired, right? Especially if they did high school all day and then college. So maybe a note to self, like, if you you're tired, it's a reminder, just take a look and see if your students look tired. And see if we can help them rest or have some fun. It's okay to have some fun during your minutes that you have to be with them. I had to remind myself, I'm a high school math teacher. That's what I was before all of this. And I'd be so focused on the objective, the lesson, the quiz, the test, that I would forget. Let's have some fun. Because nobody in math likes to have fun, right? Just kidding. That was sarcastic. I looked at Josh Lewis over here. Math people are the most fun. Okay, question number 5 is from David Chavez from Compton College. Are you still here, David? All right, thank you for the question, David. So David Chavez is an instructor from Compton College. I was so glad that Keith brought faculty and such a large team with him. Thank you for being here. And I think a lot of us want to know the answer to this question because we've scheduled a lot more online asynchronous dual enrollment. That means you have no Zoom or in-person meetings with your instructor. And we've been scheduling it, especially during the pandemic and coming out of that. And for us, it's been a solution to some scheduling problems. But for you, we don't know what the experience is like on your end. So I'm really curious to know how it feels to take these online asynchronous classes. And so we'll go to Angelica and Sebastian.
I honestly like it. I like how these courses are asynchronous and online because like I said, I'm in sports and I'm able to be in these courses and still do what I love is playing sports. So having these online courses, it's easier for me to access. It's easier for me to ask questions. If I have questions about a topic, about an assignment, I'm able to email professor. I'm able to send him a text message. I'm able to talk to someone, and I'm able to just to have these courses available to me. I have the availability that's easier for me. It's easier access. And it benefits me for the long run because I've been able to experience the fact that I'm taking college courses and I'm a high school student taking these college courses, experiencing new things. I'm able to experience the fact that I'm also in classes with other people who are 30 years old, and I'm able to learn about them. I'm able to learn about myself, and I'm able to learn about these new life skills.
I think we're laughing because 30 is not old, right?
No. No.
Okay. You're very sweet. None of us have reached 30 years old yet.
Oh, okay.
We're not there yet.
Okay.
Okay, keep going. I'm so sorry, Angelica.
Okay, sorry if I offended anybody. I didn't mean it in a bad way.
You're fine. You're fine. We need to get over ourselves, adults. Get over ourselves.
But back to what I was saying, I really liked how it benefits me out for the long run, how I'm able to have time to either do my extracurricular activities and just be able to access this.
Thank you. Thank you, Angelica. Okay, Sebastian, same question.
I think it purely depends on the student. Some students, like she said, they love it because they have time to do extracurricular activities. But for me, I'm not a huge fan of it. There were times where I was taking an asynchronous class or a course, and the professor was like, do this, 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 have a good day. And I was like, what? I don't know what to do. So I prefer having the professor right there in front of me explain it to me, them saying like, oh, this part, if you have any questions, I'm right here. So they could kind of guide me through it. There was one class where I did like it. I did enjoy it because I got to do my dance class, and then I had time to do my sport as well. So it helped me with my time management. But like I said, there are some students who need that extra help. And sometimes that Zoom class or the asynchronous course is the only one available. So it's like, oh, I guess I'll have to deal with it. There's something else I was going to say. Um, with the asynchronous class courses, there are moments where we have students who don't have technology. I remember I had to take a class online and my internet was horrible. And it was a Zoom meeting and the internet was going off and on. And I ended up having to miss that class and I got an absence for that class. And there's some professors who are kind of lenient on that. They think, oh, if they're not there, they get an absence. And that really affected my grade because absences were not mandatory, attendance was mandatory. Um, and just online classes weren't for me, asynchronous classes were not for me. There was one class that was for me, um, that one class. Uh, and that's all I have to say, but yes, it just depends on the student.
I really love that answer, Sebastian, because it wasn't like yes, no. It was like there was one class that worked out, most of them not my style, and then we also got a really honest answer here, some feedback that attendance in online courses, especially in a Zoom or participating online, there's additional barriers like needing technology or Wi-Fi being down or I mean, it's windy and a whole city goes out, right? And the final was due. This has happened, and I'm getting emails from students, and my advisors are nodding their head. They get the emails, my managers get them. My internet's not working, but my instructor won't accept my final because it's late now. We're like so shocked, but it's like, so how do we create a protocol for this and provide the training, and how do we get the messaging out of when the right time to be lenient is? Right, because it's not a free-for-all, do whatever you want, miss whatever you want. But Sebastian didn't mean to miss class that day. His Wi-Fi was just poor. Right? He shouldn't dock his grades. So thank you for sharing that with us, Sebastian. All right, Jesse Oropeza, you better still be here. Thank you. All right, now you can go. Attendance checked. You're done. No, just kidding. Jesse Oropeza is a counselor for Bakersfield College, and when I started this early college work, him and I actually sat together and mapped out early college pathways. He had experience teaching courses with the high school students. He is phenomenal at mapping out pathways and what to offer when, and has great relationship with our high school. So just a shout out to you, Jesse, and the work that you do. And everything that's been built off of that. Thank you. And thank you for the question when you registered. Jesse's question is, how prepared do you think early college made you for your transition to the university? So that would be after high school. And this question is for Angelica and Emilio. Let's go to Emilio.
Okay.
Honestly, I feel really prepared for college. I obviously don't know what it's going to be like, right? But I feel like after going through high school classes and doing college classes, singling out college will be a little bit easier, you know? Because I already have 2 years in advance, you know? The gen eds aren't too much of a worry right now. And then for the next 2 years, I'll figure it out. It's what I did in high school. I was taking, 60 credits of college class, and it was a little tough, but I feel like a lot of it was because of my high school classes and those teachers. But as long as I don't have teachers that I clash with and conflict with, I think I can get through anything.
Emilio, I think you are so ready for college and anything. You are just so calm, and if this was a job interview, I'd be hiring you. So I love this. Thank you. And I haven't asked Yolanda a question in a while, so let's do Yolanda and Angelica on this one. So throwing you on the spot here, doesn't have your name on it, but Yolanda, would you like to answer this question?
Yes, I would. I think early college has made me extremely prepared for the transition for university. I feel that, if anything, what we're doing right now is harder, trying to manage my high school courses along with my college courses. And I feel that in college, we're just going to be focusing on our college courses instead of trying to juggle both of these at the same time. So if anything, I think it's going to be easier. And I think that with the knowledge and like the maturity and responsibility that I've gained from this, it's also going to help. I think if anything, I'm going to be more homesick than lost with like the school.
Thank you, Yolanda. So it will be a change because you'll be leaving home, and these courses have been at your high school, so a little bit of homesickness there. But yeah, maybe just a bit easier because you're not doing college and high school at the same time. And I saw Celeste nodding. I'm going to give Celeste a shout out here in the front of the crowd. 2018 early college graduate from wonderful College Prep Academy and Bakersfield College. And when Dr. Curry said today that we need to then bring these students back and have them work in education in our community, well, I'm very proud of Celeste. She was just hired as an elementary school teacher here in Bakersfield. She's 22 years old and finishing her master's degree. So I know I put her on the spot, I'm sorry, but what you said, Yolanda, resonated with Celeste out here, and I wanted to say, was it easier than trying to be a high school and college student at the same time? Way easier. There we go, you are ready, you've got this. Okay, thank you, Celeste, and Angelica, let's have you answer this question as well.
I agree with Emilio and Yolanda. I honestly think that this comes with a lot of maturity and responsibility already, that you're able to know what you're going to get yourself into. And like Yolanda said, I honestly think it's going to be easier because we're juggling two things. We're juggling high school and we're juggling the college courses. So I honestly think that it's going to actually prepare you so much for university.
Thank you, Angelica. All right, unanimous, prepares you for college. We've got this. Jesse, you got your answer? Okay, great. Okay, and the last question here is from me. I figured I get to write at least one of them, right? So question number 7 is for all panelists, and this time we'll start with Emilio and work our way back here. But what advice do you want to give to our conference attendees here today?
I don't know. I don't know if I can give this crowd advice. I haven't lived that much, but live life like you're young or whatever.
Okay, so we're all honorary 17-year-olds for the day, says Emilio. So Emilio, is just anything else the people in this room, so for context for all of you, they are working very hard to make dual enrollment equitable, access for all students, to remove the barriers like the ones you've shared with us today. And just like you have shared that you get tired, we get discouraged. We can also be dumb, because we just get bogged down with the wrong things. We follow the wrong priorities because we're maybe scared. It's more powerful, and we forget about the most powerful thing, which is you, our students. And so in that light of just, do not think you don't have any advice to give us. You have so much, because like I said, we can just be dumb, and we need to hear you, and we need to hear what you need and what matters. And so if you want to add anything, you can.
I got a new answer.
Okay.
All right. You guys are doing great, okay? That's not it. You guys are doing great. But I'm saying that because this conference alone shows that you guys genuinely care about this, and you're listening to 4 high school students talk to you guys about this whole bigger picture. And I really appreciate you guys for having this and hearing me out. So good job to you guys.
Thank you, Emilio. And Sebastian?
Piece of advice I give the conference attendees is to remember that we're still high school students. We're taking these college classes and we signed up for this, but we're still we're still high school students, and so the work could be overwhelming. So when giving us these classes, make sure to not overwhelm us. But thank you for the classes. Thank you for giving us this program.
Thank you, Sebastian. We are all going to remember as we're driving home, flying home. I have a program. They are high school students. We're bringing college too, but they're teenagers. They deserve to have fun. We had fun, right? In high school, we had fun. They get to have fun too. Yolanda?
The advice that I would want to give our conference attendees here today would be to do it. This program has helped my life so much and has changed my future already so much. If you would have told my freshman self that I would be here today, I would have laughed in your face. I did not think that. Just starting this program freshman year, my mom was like, hey, like, check it out, like, you should do it. I was like, well, okay. And then I did it, and I realized just how, like, looking where I'm at compared to where my other, like, classmates are at with not doing this program, there's such a different, like, level of just, like, understanding, but also, like, maturity. Like, this program teaches you and just teaches you so many different aspects of life, even, like, without the education. Like, you learn so many life skills and so many different social skills and relationship skills. So I would say that this program is amazing and you should implement it everywhere and anywhere that you can.
Just do it. Stop talking about it, stop complaining about it, stop wishing about it, and just do it. Thank you, Yolanda. That was great advice. And Angelica?
Well, first and foremost, I want to say thank you for all of you guys here today because, I mean, without you guys, none of this would have been possible, right? So I want to say thank you to you guys, and I want to keep on telling you guys to keep this program alive, to keep on doing it because it gives low-income students, it gives students who don't know what they want to do with their life, it gives them a little bit of hope. It gives them hope because they might know what they're going to do with this program. It gives them it lets them face reality. It lets them know about the tomorrow. So I honestly just would tell you guys to keep on doing it. It's a very great program, and just keep on doing it.
Thank you for the inspiration, Angelica. And I am so impressed with these 4 students here. You really are just, I'm not even going to say young adults, you are adults, and you are so ready for finishing high school, what comes next after high school, and even if you're nervous about it, I love seeing how prepared you are. I'm so excited for you. And I joked about if I would hire Emilio, but I'm going to say this was a job interview, and in the future, and even now, if you ever want to be a early college peer mentor on my team, all 4 of you are hired. So please contact me.
Thank you.
I am serious. So I have to have you fill out an application. My managers will make it happen over there. They're writing it all down. They said, Kylie said she'll fund this. I'm funding this. Celeste just began as a lead peer mentor for me, and I love to see students come back. Even if it's just during the summer when you're home from college, or if you go to college locally, I need you. So I am so grateful to you for being on this panel. Thank you so much. Let's hear it for our student panelists. I think they deserve a standing ovation.
No.
Do you say it?
All right. Thank you so much. And bye, Pepito. Good luck. Best of luck to you.
Thank you.